Now, Netflix has been in the news a lot lately, not necessarily for the right reasons. They had a massive stock crash. They lost 200,000 subscribers. They projected they're going to lose about 2 million more over the coming months. And then their own shareholders sued them. So it hasn't been a great couple of days on the good ship Netflix, springing a few leaks here and there. Hey, listen, I don't mean to sound like I'm talking crap. I have Netflix. I love Netflix. I am a very happy subscriber to Netflix. But one of the things that they've been talking about for a while about adding to Netflix is commercials. Now, a few months ago, they decided that, and they did announce that they were looking at, maybe over the next 1 to 2, maybe even 3 years, adding a new tier to Netflix that would be ad-supported. Well, it looks like that's coming a hell of a lot faster than they anticipated, because an internal memo sent out to Netflix employees has now been released where it has been revealed that Netflix is looking to add commercials before the end of the year. Probably around September or October, they're going to be adding a new ad tier. Now, this is coming to us from Deadline. They said the following. Jonathan, if we can blow that up a little bit just so it's a little more easier to read there. There we go. All right. So it says the following. Maybe a little bit smaller because now I can't read the text. Netflix is intensifying its surprisingly sudden embrace of advertising, signaling to employees that it may roll out a cheaper ad-supported tier of its streaming service by the end of 2022. The new potential timeline would be considerably faster than the 1 to 2 year forecast the company offered last month in a stunning announcement by co-CEO Reed Hastings during a quarterly earnings interview. The updated outlook was conveyed to employees in a memo, according to a report this morning by the New York Times, which attributed the information to two unidentified sources. Yes, it's fast and ambitious and will require some trade-offs, the note said. That, of course, came from Reed Hastings saying the following. Okay, so we knew that Netflix was definitely looking at making this change, adding a cheaper supported tier of advertising. But it was theoretical and it was a ways off and anything can happen. Now it sounds like they're putting their foot to the gas. I cannot help but speculate that the lawsuit, the losing half their value, and the losing of subscribers has something to do with this. By the way, in the report, it also mentions that they, at the same time that they launched this new ad-supported tier, that is when they're going to start their big crackdown on illegal password sharing and stuff like that for the thing as well. So it's all going to come in big rush. So I have a feeling part of this is rushing out because of all the bad things that have been happening. All right. Let's look at the two sides of this coin. The pros and the cons. And I'm going to say something that might surprise you. Obviously, one of the big cons is nobody likes commercials, right? Nobody likes commercials. And the fact of the matter is that Netflix has never had commercials. And so people are just very accustomed to watching Netflix and never having ads. To suddenly introduce an ad-supported thing, that will be, for some people, considered quite jarring. And I get that. But therein, I believe the drawbacks ends. Because honestly, there's nothing but positives after it, with one caveat that I'll talk about in a second. Positive number one, a lot of people complain about the price of streaming services, which frankly I think is a little ridiculous, because what you get for that $15 a month, look, $15 to $20 a month is not nothing, but what you get for it is ridiculous. I mean, the amount of remember this, it wasn't so long ago that you would go to Blockbuster or whatever and plop down $18 to rent 3 movies. $18 to rent 3 movies that you'd have for 4 or 5 days, and you watch those 3 movies in 4 or 5 days. Now, for about that same price, you have 40,000 movies and television episodes and all this kind of stuff at our fingertips at all times. Yes, $15 to $20 is not nothing, but what you get in return for it is outstanding. It really is. What you get for that $10 to $20 is great. So, but adding an advertised-based tier, that gives the consumer the option that, hey, if you want to pay less and have some ads, that is your choice. So it gives them a cheaper option. Pro number 2 is this. Nobody's going to be forced to watch ads. This is an optional thing. Netflix is not changing their overall company strategy and just saying from now on, if you watch Netflix, you're going to get commercials. No, if you maintain your regular membership like I and probably many of you guys have, then you're not going to get commercials. If you don't want commercials, you're not going to get commercials. So that's one of the other advantages. The third advantage for Netflix is this is a new revenue stream that they've never had available to them before. The only revenue they have ever had available to them is membership fees. That's it. Now they're opening up another potential avenue stream, so that's good for them as a company. The fourth big advantage to this, and this comes as a viewer, and guys, we talked about this before. Netflix is the worst of all the streaming services for canceling popular and fan favorite shows.
Yep.
And the reason they cancel popular and fan favorite shows early in their runs is because there's no benefit to it for Netflix. Netflix doesn't earn a single penny if 10 billion people watch a movie or a show. They don't earn a single penny. They only earn money is if you're a new subscriber to get that. And after season 2 of a show, sometimes season 3, it's like everybody who's going to subscribe to our channel to watch that show is already subscribed. So our viewers love it, but there's no reason to keep it around. They get it. But guess what? If you start introducing ads, then suddenly 5 million people watching an episode of a show, that directly equals revenue for Netflix. Now Netflix now Netflix has an incentive to keep popular shows around, to keep shows that the fans like and they like keep watching, all that kind of stuff. Now it's like, you know what? We don't need a new subscriber for this show to make us money. Just people watching it will make us money. So that's an advantage too. Now, I said there was one caveat to all these pros. Here's the caveat. There's always a second shoe to drop. And here's the thing. Netflix will introduce a cheaper tiered ad-supported option. They will. Probably $10, I'm guessing. But they will use that opportunity. They will use that cheaper tier being there as a pretense to increase their regular subscription. Mm-hmm. Now, this is not official. I have no insider information on this. I am just telling you right now, within the year, there will be another price increase for the regular tier because they say, well, you don't have to have that tier. You can go to our ad-supported tier, right? So there's that. So look, I get it. If I'm in the Netflix boardroom, I understand. There's a lot of pros to doing this. If you're a viewer right now, there's not a lot of drawbacks because you still have the choice to have the bigger one. So I got to say, I'm not terribly surprised they're moving forward with this fast. Rob, you see this. What are the pros and cons to you of them doing this ad-supported tier? And do you think it'll catch on?
I think you did a good job of laying it out, but here's what I'm curious about. Notoriously, or the streamers do not put out numbers in how their viewership numbers. But now they're going to have to, because the advertisers are going to want to know.
Yeah.
And if the advertisers are going to know, let's say you make normally now with streaming shows, they're buyouts, contracts, you don't get residuals. Well, you think that, SAG's going to want to know if you have a successful show and you are making revenue from you're making ad revenue on specific shows, the guilds are going to want to jump in. They're going to want to get you. The talent negotiations are going to be totally different. It's going to be more of I would imagine, more of a network TV show kind of thing. So if shows are going to start going seasons 4, 5, 6, and 7, everyone's going to want to get a taste. Mm-hmm. And the cost of the shows is going to go up because
the longer the show runs. But they'll actually have, like, even and whenever you have advertising, like our sponsors, you have to report. The sponsors have to know, are they getting value? And if once you put those numbers on paper, well, then our showrunners and actors are going to go, hey, we've got one of the most successful shows on Netflix, and your ad revenue has made sure that your show, our show, is making 10 times. Like, can you imagine if Stranger Things had ads on it from the beginning? Yeah.
They'd be like, yo, pay us. Not that they didn't pay them well, but I think that's going to be really interesting, and it causes a whole... Is that gonna now go back to a broadcast model? Like, are we gonna go back to the old ways of doing things? And does that make it harder to renegotiate contracts if you want to go to seasons 4, 5, 6, and 7? I don't know, but I would think that it would have to. I would think that the guilds are going to be like, yo, you've never told us what you guys make. Now you have to.
Exactly.
Well, they do report their overall earnings at the end of every
But
year.
I mean, in terms of the
At
actual
the
rating
individual
of the shows.
because technically speaking, the individual shows didn't generate any revenue, and that
Right.
will change now. Chris, this isn't new.
Yeah.
Like Hulu does this. They have multiple tiers. Peacock does it. They have multiple tiers. HBO Max even does it. And word is Apple's going to do it at some point as well. What do you see as the pros and cons of this? And do you think there are going to be a lot of people that want to try out a cheaper but ad-supported tier of Netflix?
I mean, I'm all for this for exactly what Rob was talking about. A lot of times we get screwed over with our residuals when it comes to streaming. And the lovely thing that happens is, there's no way for us to track how many people streamed it. The fuck there is?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, no, it's what we do every day here. We know exactly how many people have viewed things. We know exactly how many times people have clicked an ad. We know exactly how many times someone's used a promo code, right?
Yeah.
You're not going to tell me, Netflix, that you don't have the technology, right?
Well, when our sponsors ask if we can track the numbers, they say we don't actually have that data, but it's somewhere around the viewership of the Super Bowl. So that's what I tell our sponsors. They're very happy about that. I'm not quite sure how much that lie is going to hold up.
It's a great soundbite.
Sounds wonderful.
But so for that reason, I like this. I also, I have a lot of friends who act in commercials, so I always tell people too, hey, like, don't get the fancy Hulu. Pay for the one where you have ads. Then you can support my friends, and they're going to get their residuals too. So I think people will do this, though, for a slightly cheaper option. It's just, I don't think commercials are that obnoxious, frankly. It's time for me to go refill my coffee. It's time for me to maybe go take the dog out, make sure he's not pooping on the Roomba again. I don't think this is a big issue. And I know in the chat, a lot of people are rarely angry about the commercials. Is it going to disrupt your viewing that much? I kind of like a commercial break in a narrative. I like that structure to break it up when we have a cliffhanger moment.
By the way, plot twist, it was Logan. He just blamed it on the dog.
Oh my
Anyway,
God, Logan!
Rob,
Well, you just guys made me think of something else. People get paid when you're doing a commercial. The actors get paid based on whether it's a local commercial, a national commercial. Are they going to run international commercials on Netflix? So does that mean there'd be...
it'll probably be geo-targeted.
targeted.
Yeah, I would
Definitely
imagine it would
geo-targeted.
have to be geo-targeted, but does that, would actors get a special Netflix dispensation since it's worldwide? Or if it's I just...
Fran Drescher's going to have to do some negotiating.
Yeah, I mean, I can't help but think of it from a producerial standpoint. Like, if I was going to make a Netflix commercial, am I going to have to pay my talent more? Like, how's that going to work? Is there residuals?
They'll go non-union.
See, here's the other thing too. I'm not so convinced because right now there's a tier of Netflix. Isn't there a tier of Netflix is like $20? But I think this one's like $15. I don't know if a lot of people are going to opt for an ad-supported one if all it's saving them is $5. Like, I think they got to get to the area where going for the ad saves you $10 or plus. I can't see people going, yeah, I'll watch commercials for $5.
I think you're right, though. When you say the second shoe is going to drop, you're going to...
Yep. Because all of a sudden, Netflix is going to be $28 a month, and you're going to say, oh, now you can save $18 by getting the ad.
Because you're going to
one.
be like, look, I do not want to watch ads on Netflix. And if I have to pay, I'll say it right now. If I have to pay $5 or $10 more a month, I'll do it. I'll do it. Maybe a lot of people won't, but I will, because it's so frustratingly annoying. I mean, as I get older, near the end of my life, I think I have to watch 83 seconds of commercials before I get to the next scene, and I have to do that like 6 times for an hour-long show. Come on, man, this is my life.
There's no
ticking
worse
away.
feeling in the world than when an ad spot starts on one of these services, and it says up in the corner, 1 of 9. I'm like, wait, what? 9? Anyway, guys.
And then they show you the same ones, John.
Yeah, still same ones. Question is for you guys. What do you think about this? Would you be interested in getting the cheaper tier of Netflix if it was ad-supported? Do you think this will help Netflix, hurt Netflix? Maybe you're completely indifferent to it. And you're like, nah, I'm good with my level of it. Whatever you guys think, jump down in the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, we want to take a second and thank the sponsor of this video, Harry's. Now, take a look at me. When is the last time you saw me have this close and smooth of a shave? The answer is never, because I haven't been using the Harry's starter set until now. Using Harry's, I have gotten the most comfortable, smoothest shave that I've had in years, and that's no exaggeration. And right now, Harry's is giving their best offer to our viewers and listeners. First-time Harry's customers can redeem a starter set for just $3 at harrys.com/Campea. That includes a 5-blade cartridge, a weighted handle, foaming shave gel, and a travel cover to protect your blades on the go. That's a $13 value, all for just $3. Seriously, guys, why pay so much more for other products when Harry's prioritizes simple, quality craftsmanship at a fair price? And it is time to move on from blades that barely hold up, because with Harry's, guys who've tried it say that their 8th shave is just as sharp as their first. And you're going to have a really hard time finding other competitors that have a satisfaction rating as high as Harry's. And they're still offering a no-risk trial. You don't like your shave? No problem. It's on them. New look, same incredible offer. There's really never been a better time to give Harry's a try. Just go to harrys.com/Campea today and get your starter set for just $3. That's harrys.com/Campea.